The Golden Miracle: How Vitamin D Can Revolutionize Your Body and Mind in Just 84 Days. What if you were ignoring one of the most powerful vitamins on the planet? Have you ever wondered why so many people suffer from unexplained health problems that doctors can't solve? What if I told you that there's a nutrient that could be at the root of almost all of your health complaints? Recent studies show that more than 70% of Americans have insufficient levels of vitamin D, even though they live in a sunny country. This silent deficiency may be stealing your energy, damaging your mood, and compromising your health without you even realizing it. Experts now consider vitamin D deficiency a global epidemic with alarming consequences for our health. But here's the good news. In just 12 weeks, you can completely transform your health by optimizing your levels of this miracle nutrient. Are you ready to awaken the power of the sun within you and experience a revolution in your health? Let's get started. The golden secret: the vitamin your body silently craves. Vitamin D is much more than just a simple vitamin. It's actually an essential hormone produced by your own body. When your skin is exposed to sunlight, a miraculous chemical process is triggered, turning cholesterol into vitamin D. This extraordinary nutrient has been used by our ancestors since the beginning of time, when they spent hours outdoors. The Industrial Revolution and our migration indoors have created a silent epidemic of disability. Unlike other vitamins, D functions more like a molecular messenger, turning genes on and off throughout the body. Researchers at Harvard University have found that vitamin D influences more than 2,000 different genes in our DNA. This represents approximately 10% of our entire genome, affecting virtually every system in our body. Your body uses this vitamin to regulate hundreds of metabolic pathways and vital cellular processes. Without proper levels, their systems begin to fail, like a car trying to run on adulterated fuel. But what makes vitamin D truly special is its ability to work synergistically with other nutrients. It helps in the absorption of calcium and phosphorus, fundamental elements for practically all bodily functions. Modern medicine has only just begun to scratch the surface of the immense potential of this extraordinary nutrient. Have you ever noticed how much better you feel on sunny days? It's not just psychological, it's biochemical. Even more impressive, did you know that every cell in your body has specific receptors just for vitamin D? And what would happen if you optimized those receptors in the next 84 days? Revealed: the sun hormone, that controls more than 2,000 genes in your body. Modern science has revealed that vitamin D is not just a common vitamin, but a powerful steroid hormone. When ultraviolet B light hits your skin, it turns a cholesterol derivative into pre-vitamin D. This precursor substance undergoes a series of transformations in the liver and kidneys before becoming active. The bioactive form, known as calcitriol, is what actually performs the magic inside your cells. This miracle hormone directly influences your DNA by binding to nuclear receptors within each cell. Researchers at the National Institute of Health have found that these receptors are present in virtually all human tissues. When vitamin D binds to these receptors, it literally turns specific genes on and off. This gene regulation affects everything from your immune system to your mood and bone metabolism. A study published in the journal Nature identified 2,327 genes regulated by vitamin D. Many of these genes are associated with chronic diseases that afflict millions of Americans daily. Vitamin D regulates the expression of genes related to cancer, autoimmune diseases, and metabolic disorders. It also controls genes involved in the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter of happiness. Without optimal levels of this sun hormone, your body operates with a partially silenced genetic code. It's like trying to drive a high-performance car with half the cylinders disabled, simply impossible to reach its full potential. What could happen if you awakened those dormant genes with optimal levels of vitamin D? Body Alert 7. Surprising signs. You're starved for vitamin D. Your body has clever ways of communicating when it's desperately in need of vitamin D, but few know how to interpret it. The first sign is persistent fatigue that doesn't improve even with adequate sleep and a balanced diet. Do you feel your muscles inexplicably sore, especially in your back and legs, for no apparent reason? Frequent infections and a weakened immune system can indicate that your sun vitamin levels are dangerously low. Severe deficiency can manifest as deep bone pain that is often mistaken for arthritis or fibromyalgia. Researchers at the University of Michigan found that many patients diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome were deficient in vitamin D. A depressed mood that worsens in the winter months can be your brain's cry for help for more vitamin D. Difficulty in wound healing is another often overlooked sign that your body is lacking in this vital nutrient. Unexplained hair loss, especially in women, has been strongly correlated with low vitamin D levels. Is your skin extremely dry, unresponsive to moisturizers? Your body may be begging for vitamin D. Recent studies from the University of California have connected decreased bone density with severe deficiency of this essential vitamin. The good news is that these symptoms are reversible when you restore your levels to optimal levels. Many patients report significant improvements in just 4 weeks after they begin to correct their disability. How many of these signs do you recognize in yourself or your loved ones? Is your chronic fatigue simply a sign that your body is desperate for more sunlight? Invisible shield. How the sunshine vitamin transforms your immunity. Vitamin D acts as a supreme commander for your immune system, orchestrating sophisticated defenses against invaders. Every immune cell in your body has specific receptors for vitamin D, highlighting its critical importance. When activated by the solar vitamin, your immune cells produce natural antimicrobial peptides against pathogens. These peptides work as natural antibiotics, eliminating bacteria, viruses, and fungi without side effects. Studies published in the Journal of Immunology reveal that vitamin D regulates the adaptive and innate immune response simultaneously. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen found that vitamin D deficiency triples the risk of respiratory infections. During the winter months, when sun exposure decreases, our defenses naturally weaken without this vital nutrient. Vitamin D prevents your immune system from overreacting, reducing your risk of autoimmune conditions. It acts as a sophisticated modulator, boosting defenses when needed and calming them down when exaggerated. A study of 10,000 participants showed that those with optimal vitamin D levels were 58% less likely to catch the flu. Patients with multiple sclerosis often experience remissions during sunny months due to elevated vitamin D levels. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic now recommend supplementation for patients with autoimmune diseases with promising results. Proper supplementation during the winter can dramatically reduce your sick days and increase your productivity. What would be possible in your life if you rarely got sick or recovered twice as fast? What would it be like to live with an immune system strengthened by optimal levels of this miracle nutrient? Unwavering structure, the secret formula for steel bones and powerful muscles. Your bones are living structures, constantly remodeling, and vitamin D is the conductor of this ongoing process. Without adequate levels, your body literally begins to cannibalize its own skeleton to maintain vital functions. Vitamin D works in perfect harmony with calcium and phosphorus to build and maintain your bone structure. This nourishing trio forms the foundation of tough bones that can withstand decades of movement and impact. Groundbreaking research from Tufts University has shown that vitamin D increases calcium absorption by up to 400%. Without this vitamin, you could consume enough calcium to build a statue and still suffer from deficiency. One study of postmenopausal women showed that supplementation reduced bone fractures by more than 60%. Your muscles also critically depend on vitamin D for strength, power, and efficient recovery. Professional athletes now routinely monitor their vitamin D levels to optimize their physical performance. A study of NFL players revealed that those with optimal levels had fewer injuries and shorter recovery times. Severe deficiency can lead to myopathy, a debilitating condition that causes deep muscle weakness and pain. Researchers from the United Kingdom found that supplementation increased muscle strength by 23% in just 12 weeks. Combining resistance exercise with optimal vitamin D levels produces impressive results at any age. Imagine what it would be like to feel your bones and muscles functioning at their maximum potential every day. What could you accomplish with a body structure strengthened by optimal levels of this miracle nutrient? Radiant brain, the unexpected link between sunlight and happiness. Your brain contains a high concentration of vitamin D receptors, especially in areas related to mood and cognition. Researchers at the University of Cambridge found that vitamin D regulates the production of serotonin, the neurotransmitter of happiness. Low levels are strongly correlated with depression, especially the kind that worsens during the darker months. Seasonal affective disorder isn't just a lack of light. It's a biochemical deficiency that can be corrected. Clinical studies have shown that vitamin D supplementation can be as effective as mild antidepressants in specific cases. Your hippocampus, the brain's memory center, is particularly rich in vitamin D receptors. A study of older adults showed that those with optimal levels performed 35% better on cognitive tests. Vitamin D protects your neurons against oxidative stress and reduces harmful brain inflammation. Researchers at UCLA University have connected low vitamin D levels with a higher risk of cognitive decline. This vitamin also supports neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons, even in older brains. Alzheimer's patients typically have significantly lower levels of vitamin D than their healthy peers. Preliminary studies suggest that supplementation may slow the progression of certain neurodegenerative conditions. Vitamin D also influences your sleep-wake cycle, helping to regulate melatonin production. What would it be like to experience crystal clear mental clarity and emotional stability simply by optimizing this nutrient? Imagine waking up every day with a brain functioning at its maximum potential. This is possible with vitamin D. Recharging your batteries, the vitamin that revolutionizes your sleep and energy. Unexplained chronic fatigue is often the first sign of vitamin D deficiency that many overlook. Your mitochondria, the cellular power plants, depend on vitamin D to function at peak efficiency. Researchers at Newcastle University found that deficiency reduces the production of ATP, its basic cellular fuel. It's like trying to drive a car on low-quality fuel. You just don't get very far. Clinical studies show that patients with chronic fatigue experienced an 80% increase in energy levels after adequate supplementation. Vitamin D also directly regulates your circadian cycle, the internal clock that controls your sleep patterns. Inadequate levels can cause insomnia, fragmented sleep, and early awakening with no apparent cause. A study of chronic insomniacs showed that 70% experienced significant improvement after normalizing their levels. The sunshine vitamin directly influences your waking brain centers and the production of sleep-related neurotransmitters. Patients report that dreams become more vivid and restorative when their vitamin D levels are optimized. Elite athletes now monitor and supplement vitamin D to improve recovery and overall physical performance. A study of Olympic swimmers showed 27% improvement in recovery after levels normalized. The feeling of waking up naturally without an alarm clock is one of the first signs of optimized levels. What would it be like to have abundant energy from the moment you wake up until bedtime? Can you imagine how your life would change if you never experienced that terrible afternoon fatigue again? The perfect sun bath. Soak up the sun's power. Risk-free. Smart sun exposure remains the most efficient and natural method to produce vitamin D in your body. 15 to 30 minutes of direct sun exposure, 3 times a week, can meet all your basic needs. The ideal time for exposure is between 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, when UVB rays are most abundant. Exposing 30 to 40% of your skin maximizes production while minimizing the time needed in the sun. Researchers at the University of Colorado have found that your skin can produce up to 10,000 IU of vitamin D in just 15 minutes. Surprisingly, using sunscreen with SPF 15 reduces vitamin D production by 99%. Melanin, the pigment that gives skin its color, works as a natural sunscreen, reducing production efficiency. People with darker skin may need 3 to 5 times as much exposure to produce the same amount. After the age of 40, your ability to produce vitamin D through the skin decreases significantly. Distance from the equator dramatically affects your ability to produce vitamin D year-round. People living above 37 degrees north latitude do not produce vitamin D during winter months. Air pollution in urban areas can reduce UVB rays by up to 60%, limiting their production. Glass effectively blocks UVB rays, so sitting near a sunny window doesn't help production. How could you incorporate a therapeutic sunbath into your daily routine without compromising your schedule? Are you willing to invest 15 minutes a day to completely transform your health in the next 12 weeks? Food Treasure: the 12 foods that deliver liquid gold to your body. Nature provides us with food sources of vitamin D, although less abundant than our natural skin production. Wild salmon tops the list, containing up to 1,300 IU of vitamin D in a 100-gram serving. Surprisingly, farmed salmon contains only 25% of the vitamin D found in the wild. Mackerel is another nutritious champion, offering up to 750 IU per medium serving. Researchers have found that egg yolks from free-range hens contain 3 times more vitamin D than conventional ones. Canned sardines offer approximately 500 IU per serving, plus omega-3 and calcium from edible bones. Canned tuna represents a convenient and affordable option, providing about 250 IU per serving. Sun-dried shiitake mushrooms can contain up to 1,600 international units per 100-gram serving. Beef liver, while not popular today, provides about 50 IU per serving, in addition to other vital nutrients. Cheeses such as Swiss and cheddar provide small amounts, approximately 40 IU per serving. Fortified foods like milk, orange juice, and breakfast cereals provide between 40 and 100 IU per serving. The lesser-known quail yolk contains twice the vitamin D found in chicken yolks. Combining these foods strategically can provide a solid foundation of vitamin D through the diet. Would you be able to incorporate at least 3 of these superfoods into your diet in the next 12 weeks? What would it be like to plan your meals centered on these natural sources of concentrated solar energy? The Golden Dose: the definitive guide to error-free supplementation. Proper supplementation may be necessary for many Americans, especially during the winter months. There are 2 main forms available: vitamin D, 2, ergocalciferol, and D3, cholecalciferol. Research shows that D3 is approximately 87% more effective at raising blood levels. D3 also stays active in your body longer, providing longer-lasting benefits. Studies from Boston University have revealed that daily doses of 2,000 to 5,000 IU are ideal for most adults. Supplements in liquid form or in oil capsules are best absorbed because they are fat-soluble vitamin D. Taking your supplement with a meal containing healthy fats can increase absorption by up to 32%. Combining vitamin K2 provides synergistic benefits by directing calcium to the bones and away from the arteries. Magnesium is another critical cofactor, which is needed to convert vitamin D into its active form in the body. People with intestinal malabsorption conditions may need higher doses under medical supervision. Regular blood tests are recommended to monitor your levels and adjust dosage as needed. The optimal level of vitamin D in the blood is between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter for full benefits. Establishing a consistent supplementation habit is more important than taking higher sporadic doses. What would it be like to incorporate a personalized supplementation protocol based on your specific needs? Imagine achieving optimal vitamin D levels in just 12 weeks by following a scientific supplementation plan. From cradle to old age: how vitamin D transforms each stage of life. The need for vitamin D begins even before birth, with maternal levels influencing fetal development. Studies show that babies born to mothers with adequate levels have significantly stronger immune systems. Deficiency during pregnancy is associated with a higher risk of complications and child development problems. Children need enough vitamin D to develop strong bones and prevent the ancient disease called rickets. Researchers at the University of Helsinki found that supplemented children had an 80% lower risk of developing type 1 diabetes. During adolescence, vitamin D is crucial for proper bone growth and muscle development. Young adults with optimal levels experience better cognitive performance and a lower incidence of depression. Women of reproductive age need adequate vitamin D to regulate hormonal cycles and fertility. During pregnancy, the demand increases dramatically to support the baby's development and maternal health. In middle age, optimal levels help prevent premature bone loss and declining muscle strength. For seniors, vitamin D is essential in preventing falls, fractures, and supporting brain function. Studies show that seniors with adequate levels have 72% less risk of hip fracture. The need for vitamin D usually increases with age due to decreased cutaneous production efficiency. Have you considered how your vitamin D requirement changes throughout the different stages of your life? How could you adjust your vitamin D strategy to meet the specific needs of your current age? Solar Transformation, the 84-day plan that will revolutionize your body. A 12-week strategic plan can completely transform your vitamin D levels and your overall health. Week 1. Have a blood test to establish your current vitamin D baseline. Start with an appropriate dose based on your current levels and personal risk factors. Week 2. Establish a consistent sun exposure routine, identifying the best times for you. A study by Johns Hopkins University showed that 92% of participants normalized their levels by following a structured plan. Weeks 3 and 4. Integrate vitamin D-rich foods into your weekly eating plan. Add critical cofactors like magnesium, vitamin K, and zinc to optimize absorption and utilization. Weeks 5 and 6. Watch for the first signs of improvement, increased energy, and better sleep quality. Many study participants reported significant improvements in mood and cognition at this stage. Weeks 7 and 8. Gradually increase your physical activity to maximize musculoskeletal benefits. Adjust your supplementation as needed based on how you're feeling. Weeks 9 and 10. Most people experience significant improvements in chronic inflammatory conditions. Your immunity will be noticeably stronger, with fewer infections and faster recovery when you get sick. Weeks 11 and 12. Repeat your blood test to document your objective improvements in vitamin D levels. Most of the study participants reported feeling like a completely new person at this point. This systematic plan ensures that you gradually build up your levels for lasting benefits. The results are cumulative. Each week builds on the gains of the previous one for a complete transformation. Remember that your body stores vitamin D in adipose tissue, creating reserves for periods of lower exposure. Are you prepared to invest just 12 weeks to potentially transform your health forever? What would it be like to experience levels of energy, mental clarity, and vitality that you may never have known? Danger Zone. When the sun vitamin becomes a silent threat. While deficiency is more common, too much vitamin D can also pose serious health risks. Toxicity usually occurs only with prolonged excessive supplementation, not with sun exposure. Your body naturally regulates skin production, preventing overproduction even in intense sun exposure. Daily doses above 10,000 IU for prolonged periods may lead to hypercalcemia in some people. Symptoms of toxicity include nausea, vomiting, weakness, mental confusion, and potentially kidney stones. Soft tissue calcification is a serious risk of excessively high levels for long periods. Blood levels above 100 nanograms per milliliter are generally considered excessively high. People with certain medical conditions such as sarcoidosis or hyperparathyroidism should exercise special caution. Medications such as thiazide diuretics may increase vitamin D sensitivity and the risk of hypercalcemia. Individuals with a history of kidney stones should monitor their vitamin D levels more carefully. Supplementation should always be based on blood tests and ideally supervised by a healthcare professional. Children are especially sensitive to toxicity, requiring careful monitoring of dosages. Balance is key. Aim for optimal levels without exceeding safety limits. Do you consult a healthcare professional before starting high-dose supplementation? What would you do if you experienced symptoms of excessively high vitamin D levels? Red flag. Are you in a high-risk group for vitamin D deficiency? Certain groups have a significantly higher risk of disability and need personalized strategies. People with darker skin produce less vitamin D due to melanin-blocking UVB rays. Older adults have up to 70% reduced ability to synthesize vitamin D through the skin. Individuals with obesity often have lower levels because vitamin D gets sequestered in fat tissue. Studies from the University of Pittsburgh have shown that people with a BMI over 30 need 3 times more vitamin D. Those who work predominantly indoors have insufficient sun exposure for adequate production. People living at high latitudes, especially above 37 degrees north or south, are at increased risk. Vegetarians and vegans consume less dietary vitamin D due to the absence of rich animal sources. Individuals with intestinal diseases such as Crohn's disease or celiac disease have impaired absorption. Patients with liver or kidney disease may have difficulty converting vitamin D to its active form. People who use sunscreen consistently block the cutaneous production of vitamin D. Postmenopausal women have increased needs due to vitamin D's role in bone health. Do you recognize yourself or someone you love in any of these high-risk categories? What would you do differently if you found out you belong to multiple high-risk groups? How could you tailor the strategies we discussed to your specific circumstances? The Solar Revolution, your path to a radiant life. The journey of optimizing your vitamin D levels isn't just about prevention. It's about complete transformation. Imagine waking up every day feeling truly rested, with crystal clear mental clarity and abundant energy. Visualize an immune system so powerful that you rarely get sick, even when everyone around you is sick. Think of the cumulative benefits of stronger bones, more powerful muscles, and healthier joints over the years. The true promise of vitamin D is not only to add years to your life, but to add life to your years. This isn't just another health fad. It's sound science backed up by thousands of studies. The miracle is that something so powerful is simultaneously so affordable, secure, and easy to implement. Unlike complex medical interventions, optimizing your vitamin D is within reach of just about anyone. The 12-week plan I shared is your roadmap to unlocking this transformative potential. The question is not whether you can afford to invest in this strategy, but whether you can afford not to. Every day that passes with a disability is a day lived below its potential for health and vitality. The human body is incredibly resilient. Give it what it needs, and it will respond with amazing healing. Don't wait until severe symptoms appear. Prevention is infinitely more powerful than treatment. Today you have a choice. Continue as you are, or embark on a 12-week journey that can change everything. Choose the radiant life you deserve. Your solar body is waiting to awaken.